foremost, Charlie Kastner's back. The soul and inspiration of Rotary, Charlie Kastner. Welcome to the November 13th meeting of the Rotary Club of Louisville. I'm Barry Barker, president of our club, and there's nothing to add to that. Toledo's retirement is great, by the way, for all of those who have not asked me yet. That's great. Toledo's in our invocation is Jennifer Adrio, Regional Chief Executive.
Kim Baker is a strong and passionate leader in our arts community with extensive experience in all areas of arts administration and theater management. In addition to her work at the Kentucky Center, Kim has held leadership positions with a variety of theaters, performing art venues, including the Singletary Center for the Arts, Airport Amphitheater, and the W.L. Lyons Brown Theater. Her lifelong passion for the arts was realized as a teenager when she was able to audition for the Governor's School for the Arts on the very stage of the Kentucky Center for which she's now the president. So think about that. There's a lot of homegrown talent in Louisville, and she's a clear example of that coming to realization. Yes. GSA provided a clear pathway for Kim, obviously, and she received her Bachelor of Arts at the University of Kentucky in respected arts administration program and a minor in flute performance. So the next time the band needs a flute soloist, look no further than Kim Baker. She later earned an executive certificate in nonprofit leadership from Duke University. Kim is a graduate of Leadership Louisville, the Bingham Fellows, and serves as chair of the Arts and Cultural Alliance and is on the steering committee of Imagine 2020, the region's art and cultural master plan. She is the newly appointed board member of the Muhammad Ali Center. She's also serving on the boards of Greater Louisville Inc., Downtown Development Corporation, and Front for the Arts. Her passion for bringing extraordinary arts experiences and opportunities to our region can be seen in her leadership as president and CEO of the Kentucky Center. She is committed to helping move our community forward through embracing the arts and the mission of the Kentucky Center to build lifelong relationships with and through the arts. She's married to prosecutor Mark Baker. They have 3 daughters, all of which participate, usually willingly, in the performing and the visual arts. I'm proud to say that some of her daughters are students of ours at Louisville Visual Arts. So it's my privilege to give to you Kim Baker, President.
I'm supposed to still be using these, so I have to take them with me. Well, let me begin by expressing my thanks to some very important people here today, beginning with Lindy for that wonderful introduction. I have known Lindy for many years now, and he's an amazing leader. He's so passionate about the arts and education. He's doing incredible work at LDA, and we'll have to get him up here someday soon to speak. Thank you, President Barker, and my fellow Rotarians. I was thrilled to come and speak even while I'm on crutches. I have so many colleagues and friends as I look out in the audience today. My guest, Madeline Abramson today, who is the Center's Chair Emeritus. Bill Lynch, who is the chair of our foundation. Many of my staff and team, who I think I told you earlier, are here to root me on. I see colleagues that we're working with out in the community, patrons of the Kentucky Center, supporters of the arts. Just so I know I'm among friends today. And I see volunteers too. There's a lot of you all that know the center and know about. Secondly, let me explain to you all why I am on crutches. I've learned a valuable lesson, and I want to share it with you all today. Never walk around on a small speedboat in choppy conditions. Don't do it. Don't do it in the middle of a storm. It's not a good idea. And if you're going to do it, don't do it on a remote island where there is absolutely no access to healthcare or pain medications. So that's just my bit of advice for you today. If you got nothing else out of today, then that you're leaving with a good tip. But I'm going to begin a little bit. Let's take a walk together down memory lane. I think.
Opening night here was a fantastic time.
30 years ago, I had a date that night with the gentleman who would become my husband.
Nothing compares to opening.
It was beautiful.
I reckon Louisville, Kentucky.
My own Kentucky home.
The talent is unbelievable.
What a night to be home.
It gives me cold chills to talk about.
Sat way up there.
But the night here was absolutely magical.
How many of you all were here when the center opened, or came to the center opening? A lot of people. I wasn't at the opening of the center, but I remember it. I remember it well, and how excited my family was that Louisville and Kentucky would have a Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts. And after 17 years of efforts put towards a major performing arts complex, our city and our state and even our nation came together to celebrate a remarkable event, the realization of a vision. A vision to provide a showcase for the area's rich and diverse live entertainment, to create a place where the community could gather and enjoy everything from grand opera to folk singers, where the area's prominent arts groups, as well as nationally and internationally renowned artists, could call home, and where those visiting would leave with the impression that Kentucky was a place rich with culture and a progressive community that valued both national and regional arts. The vision was to build one of the nation's largest and most technically advanced performing arts centers, and it would be a unique tribute to the people of Kentucky who created and committed the public capital to build it. That was the largest such commitment ever made in the United States. This striking commitment was paralleled by the creation of the Kentucky Center for the Arts Endowment, which raised over $12 million in private contributions to be used for capital support of the center. This achievement was a first for Kentucky. The public-private partnership unveiled a wonderful and lasting gift to the Commonwealth. Since that night, the center has delivered upon the promises since ground was broken at 501 West Main Street. We have forged ahead as an important driver of economic impact and state, local tourism. In fact, to this day, we still follow our statutes, which directs us to support cultural tourism in Kentucky. We have provided memorable arts experiences for millions of patrons, and at the same time, inspired young and blossoming artists across the state. We have provided a home for the area's professional arts organizations that need a first-class facility that would match their achievements, and we've made a commitment to make arts available for everyone. The Kentucky Center is owned by the Commonwealth, but the Kentucky Center itself, the operating company, is a 501c3. Our mission is simply to build lifelong relationships with the arts. Our vision is a 5-year vision. It's centered around our most recent strategic plan to better the economic and artistic vibrancy of our community by creating unique spaces and meaningful experiences that further human connection. So let's talk a little bit about who we are today, and we'll bring our mission and vision to life for you. Our efforts are focused around our world-class facilities, our events, and our education and community outreach programs. So let's talk for a second about our facilities. Most people know about the main theater in the Kentucky Center, which is the Whitney Hall. It seats 2,448 seats. Many of the Broadway shows happen there. Many of our residents perform there. And it is the largest stage in the state and in the region, the only stage that can hold the big shows that come through that require an expansive backstage and a very sophisticated wing system. We have our Baumhard Theater, which seats 659. That's where Stage One Children's Theater makes their home, and so many other wonderful performances, the Authors Forum, to name one, as well as Kentucky to the World. And the Metz Theater, which is a small black box, 139 seats. It's up on the second level of the center, and if you go to the Metz on any given night, you'll see something very unexpected, some wonderful, rich community theater that might be happening up there. In addition to the performing spaces, the Kentucky Center also houses an absolutely remarkable collection of contemporary art that was given to our foundation by very generous donors, and it features the works of renowned sculptors and artists like Alexander Calder, Debbie Fay, Louise Nevelson, Malcolm Morley, Moreau, John Chamberlain, Tony Smith, and more. Several of these pieces were commissioned for the center, and they are inextricably connected to the space. This is a public collection, and so the center offers public tours and really invites everyone, students, people passing by, to come and see it. And many times when we have visiting artists, they want to come and they want to see parts of our collection. The Louise Nevelson piece actually is made up of pieces of the site the center was built upon, and there are stories of that she came with a wheelbarrow and would pick up nails and different pieces of wood to create that wonderful sculpture. Events at the center, we have, of course, we're the primary site for Louisville's performing arts groups, including the Louisville Orchestra, the Louisville Ballet, Kentucky Opera, Stage One Theater, and the PNC Broadway in Louisville. And the center has its own performing and presenting arm, Kentucky Center Presents, and it brings the best in live arts and entertainment, from comedy to dance, film, concerts, and more, to Louisville. Every year, the center hosts more than 1,500 events. I think I mentioned the Authors Forum, Kentucky to the World, but also the Festival of Face and We Day, Thunder at the Center, Kentucky Music Educators Association. There's just always something happening at the Kentucky Center. The center has gained worldwide recognition, presenting internationally known artists and dignitaries, from presidents to the Dalai Lama. We believe everyone should have the opportunity to experience the center, and our award-winning access services makes the theater experience possible for patrons with special needs, including audio description, captioned theater, American Sign Language interpretation, large print and braille and sensory-friendly performances. Recently, by partnering with the Printing House for the Blind, we installed directional beacons in the facility so that patrons who are blind or have low vision navigate the space without assistance. I myself recently have been a participant in our access services, and I can say it is fantastic. So anyone that knows anyone that has reservations about coming to the center because of an access issue, please encourage them to come. It's a wonderful experience. Another part of our mission that a lot of folks just really don't know about is our education and community arts programs. Because before the center was even open, we had an education director on staff. And so a great deal of our programs are centered outside of the center. And really the Commonwealth is our campus. Every summer, the Kentucky Center has the Governor's School for the Arts, which we mentioned earlier, and their faculty of professional teaching artists guide more than 250 of Kentucky's finest young artists through 3 weeks of intense and interdisciplinary arts instruction. Students study in one of 9 art disciplines: architecture and design, creative writing, dance, drama, instrumental music, musical theater, new media, visual and vocal music. Governor's School for the Arts also offers arts workshops each fall for interested students and provides a number of programs and resources to alumni of the summer program. The program recently announced a collaboration with the University of Kentucky as a new host campus. It has served more than 6,000 high school students over 30 years. And the program began in 1987 because I was a member of the first class. Don't do the math on that one. School programs. The Kentucky Center's school programs help connect the arts with curriculums throughout Kentucky and bring arts experiences into the classroom through the Keen's Artist Residency Program. We train teachers, actually train them through hands-on artist-led professional development seminars across the state, and we're really excited because we recently announced a new partnership with Jefferson County Public Schools and Stage One Family Theater, selecting 10 elementary schools to offer arts training, instruction, and experiences. One of my favorite quotes that come from this type of work with a teacher is, she said that before the academy she taught in black and white, and after the experience she now teaches in color. Arts Reach is a program that has been going on for many, many decades now, collaborates with community centers and organizations throughout Louisville Metro, empowering young people in community settings through studio arts instruction in dance, violin, and visual arts, residencies and renowned artists that we bring in through Kentucky Center Presents. We also make affordable tickets to them so that they can come to performances, and the opportunity to perform on the Kentucky Center's professional stages. We're always working to create very culturally diverse and relevant programming, such as recently we did the Arts Reach Lipstick Wars, which was an all-female produced poetry slam competition, and if it's not the largest, it's one of the largest of these types of events in the country. Our Arts and Healing program brings the healing power of the arts to healthcare and wellness facilities, as well as to veteran groups, serving an estimated 78,000 patients since 2009. The people we serve include patients and families, staff, including adults healing from substance abuse, the wounds of war, children recovering from physical and emotional abuse and abandonment, seniors embracing the end of life, families dealing with homelessness, and patients undergoing cancer treatment. Much of the work of Arts and Healing provides military veterans the ways to process their stories and experiences and really actually build community together through writing poetry, creative works of visual art, African drumming, and movement. At the center, we demonstrate our success. We are regularly ranked in Pollstar, which is our industry trade, and Billboard, listing of top 100 venues in the world, often in the top 20. We find ourselves ahead of theaters like the Ryman Auditorium, the Fabulous Fox, and Radio City Music Hall. Graduates of GSA go on to do amazing things, like Kevin Alusala, who is a member of the a cappella group founding member, Pentatonics, and Kayla Ray Whitaker, whose debut novel, The Animators, was one of NPR's top books to read in 2017 and was just named Best Debut Book in Entertainment Weekly. As we said earlier, we regularly see over 500,000 patrons. More than 2 million children have traveled to Kentucky Center from counties all across the state to experience the arts at the Kentucky Center. And speaking of success, last summer we were planning on what was going to be our biggest and best season ever, our 35th anniversary. New opportunities, we had just purchased the Brown Theater from our partner, Fund for the Arts, the opening of our new venue in Paristown, we've got Hamilton coming, and then on June 13th, something very unexpected happened.
Dozens crowded onto the streets of downtown Louisville Wednesday afternoon, watching as firefighters battled a 3-alarm fire at the Kentucky Center.
If you take a look behind me, you can see the damage to the roof of the Kentucky Center is significant. Peeled back metal, charred metal and wood. It is a tough sight to see on such a recognizable building here in downtown Louisville that means so much to our arts and culture community.
Well, I don't know about you all, that I was actually out of town when I heard that. I was in San Francisco looking at sound systems, and I have never been so frightened in my life. Of course, my first thought was, I hope everyone there is safe and no one is hurt. My thoughts secondly turned toward just the facility and the beautiful art collection that was there. And then I started thinking about all of the folks that use the Kentucky Center and how long and how will this impact them? Well, I can say that today you can see from the inside pictures, this is a picture of the Barrel Hall, what it looks like from the inside. If you walk into the center right now, you can't see this because we've got a dance floor that's down that protects any kind of debris from falling, but there's just scaffolding all over the lobbies. So it takes a very long time to put something like this back together. But I'm very, very grateful, I have to say, because for the most part, everything is going to turn out okay for the Kentucky Center, for the groups that perform at the Kentucky Center. I'm very grateful for the first responders, for the safety of our employees, and also how they limited the damage to the building. I must really give my thanks to the state, the Finance and Administration Cabinet, Secretary Landon, Tourism, Arts and Heritage Cabinet, Secretary Don Parkinson, who were really on site and have made sure that this building would be safe and that we would have things done in the right way and the best way. So they have really come to the support of the Kentucky Center. And I really want to thank our residents and all of our users who have really lived through this with us. And they've been flexible and patient as the work continues to go on. On September 1st, we reopened the box office and theaters, but the building is still undergoing extensive repairs. The Barrel Vault is a very complicated roof, and we probably will have that completely redone and open in the late summer, early fall of 19. And I am excited about what that experience is going to be when we reopen, because we are working to put that space back together so that we reopen it to a better experience for our artists, for our patrons, and really let's turn a bad situation into a very positive outcome for the Kentucky Center. So anyway, I'll be excited for you all to come down and see that. Let's talk a second about where we're headed. What you may not know is that the center is evolving. We're probably evolving more than we have at any point in 35 years. As you've heard from this presentation, the center is not confined to 501 West Main Street. In our new strategic plan, we looked to see what type of venues might be missing from the Louisville and the regional market, and what the community might be missing. And after the Kentucky Center's Foundation purchase of the Brown Theater on Broadway, Our next effort is to finish building a new venue in Paristown. Our presence with this venue is intended to build bridges and create opportunity, creating a growing roster of shows and programs for the community and the region, supporting important community issues like cultural tourism, talent attraction, and neighborhood redevelopment. So let's talk a little bit about the Paristown project. How many of you all knew where Paristown was? I didn't. I didn't. It's really an interesting neighborhood in Louisville with a fantastic, really interesting history of innovation. The spot was selected for a number of reasons. We looked at many different sites, and we wanted to have a building that we could build that was new. We wanted it to really be part of a neighborhood redevelopment. And Paristown, this area right near Louisville Stoneware, as you all can see, and the cafe sits really nestled in next to a lot of different neighborhoods. So that's why it's really going to be part of the community that sits around it, with national acts, but also local as well. The venue is a different type of venue for the Kentucky Center. It's a 2,000 standing room only venue, but it's flexible. The top of the venue, the roof of the venue, will be steel so that you can do a myriad of configurations there. So you can see a traditional concert that you would have in a standing room venue, but you can also have the Louisville Orchestra could perform in the round there and have people immersive all around them. So we really see this as something that will be pretty incredible. The outside of the venue has a screen that is going to be there for projection. So we'll be featuring local and national artists on that. We'll be having film on that. And in addition, for performances, we'll have things that are happening on the inside, that outside can be broadcast so the community can enjoy what's happening from the inside in a green space that surrounds the building. Right now, we are about halfway through. We plan for the building to open in June. We're on time and on budget. If you drive by, I think we showed some photos of Paristown. You can kind of see where we are. The brick is done, the foundation's poured, and we are starting to book in talent as we speak, and are just excited to see what the future holds for us. One last thing, and I think you all knew that this one was coming, it's the pitch. And I think what I'm gonna say to you all, you are involved people anyway, but, can I go for 1 second? And I just want to point out Kay Norman Berry, who's here today, who is working on the Paristown projects, and they've just been outstanding. Steve and Ed, really, have been super. And we're working with Coolapod, and he's doing the outside of the building, doing a little bit of internal work with, or inside work with us as well, who did the Speed Museum. So back to the pitch. So you all are involved, and I just want to really urge you to get involved with just any wonderful cultural institution here, because there's so many. Now, of course, I want you to be involved with the Kentucky Center, and there's so many ways that you could engage with the Kentucky Center. You can certainly attend. I think most of you do attend shows at the Kentucky Center. Please, volunteer. We have 500 volunteers, and they are a close-knit group that we couldn't do it without our volunteers. There are board opportunities. We have 2 incredible boards, Foundation Board, Kentucky Center Board, and a number of very, very active committees to donate and then to advocate for the arts, advocate for culture in the community. So anyway, with that, I will close with one last look at our Kentucky Center for the Performing Arts, and then open it up for questions.
It started as an idea to create a beacon for the arts. A place to bring artists and our community together. To celebrate artistic vision, provide new experiences, and create connections. To honor the past, while always moving toward the future. To bind us together through the joy, love, and power of the arts. And today, the beacon grows brighter than ever.
Hi, Henry.
On? Okay. Thanks for your leadership and being here today, Kim. I was very lucky to be in that audience 35 years ago. And what I remember most about it was when the incredible Jessie Norman walked out on the stage. And she was, and still is, one of the greatest opera star of America ever. And I wonder if there's a video of that night, because I would love to see that again.
There is video of that night, so I'll make that happen. I've got some archives. It has the script from that night, the video from that night. We keep it protected, and it's a copy at the university as well. But
Okay.
I'd love to share that with you.
Thank you.
Hi, Alice.
Hello. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the infrastructure improvements that you're making with the rebuilding of the ceiling? And the benefit to the artist companies?
I'd love to. So, we were in the process of doing a master plan, and 35 years, we were thinking of, what do we need to do for the next 35 years, and really trying to study that. So, when the fire happened, we already had some ideas about some things that we wanted to accomplish, and so we're stepping back and we're saying, what can we accomplish right now? What makes sense now that we've got a great team working on this project, and while we're ready, we're open and ready. So some of the things that we're looking at, for sure, the Farrell Hall right now is plaster on the inside, and we've been working with an acoustician. There is a paneling that looks like plaster, but the sound absorbance is going to be much different. So the main lobby will actually be more of a performance hall because the acoustics will be so improved. It'll still feel lively and exciting to you as patrons, but we can do speakers, live music, those kinds of things. So that's a big one. The other is we're trying to create a simplified palette, because we do have that world art collection and the sculptures, and we want those pieces to really stand out. And so we're looking at kind of how do we simplify the colors so that the focus is really on the art, the performers, and the people, as opposed to the colors in the space. We're opening the space up a little bit more. We're trying to kind of push some things like the box office that extends out back so that there's just more floor space. And right now we're exploring permanent bars that we can create, because if you've ever been to a crowded show at the center when the Baumhart is full and the center is full and the Whitney, there's just not enough room, and we can't get lines through as quickly as we need to get lines through. So we're looking at how do we become more efficient and create more of a space where people can convene and be social around more permanent bars as opposed to the portables that we have now. There's other things that we're looking at, the lighting. There's a lot of legacy lighting in the main lobby that we're trying to work to clean up. And we're just exploring what else we can possibly do. All of this does come with a price tag. We have to figure out how do we make all of this happen, but my boards are very committed to making sure that we open this building up better than we left it.
Hi, Erica Fields. The performance spaces, specifically some of the smaller ones like the Black Box, are they available for rent for small theater groups or organizations that might want to use them for productions?
They are, and that is the mission behind the smaller spaces. Actually, the Metz Theater is a space that is very welcoming to community theater groups and smaller attractions. It's very affordable. There's a lot of flexibility, wonderful technology there. So absolutely, yes, the center's not just about the main stage Broadway shows, and would love to talk to you about that.
Hi, Kim. Kent Grossman, thanks so much for the wonderful presentation, Dave. My question is, I wonder if you could just give us an idea of the economic impact that Kentucky Center has on our community. With opening the convention center, of course, you know, things are really blossoming, but tell us a little bit about the Kentucky Center's economic impact.
Sure. Well, the economic impact, we measure it from time to time. We use the Americans for the Arts as a way to try to do that. It's hard to capture everything that happens at the center because a lot of what we do when we measure economic impact is we use our database of tickets, but a lot of the visitors that come through are coming for conferences that aren't necessarily there for to purchase a ticket there, but they're there because of the conference that's in town. So when we've done that measurement, we found that we had about $20 million over a year to two in economic impact based on those types of indicators. But that doesn't include just the many conferences that we have, the Bourbon Classics and those types of events that happen, a lot of the regional tourism that happens, and then of course there's all the activity because the center is there that's created. The fire is really, it's interesting because the fire is really, from a business perspective, challenged a lot of the folks that, the garages, the restaurants that have been around us. So, you know, of course, any kind of time that you're driving that much traffic to a place, you know, you get the support, you're supporting the businesses that are around you.
Larry Sloan, thank you so much for coming today. My question is about the eating facility that you have and drinking facility there. Are there any plans to enlarge or improve that as far as when the Broadway series comes, it's usually packed. It's not so packed when the orchestra is there. I think that's more local maybe. But anyway, just your comments on it.
Sure, he's talking about Scene at the center. Scene through our strategic plan is actually a restaurant facility that the center itself manages. We had had a number of different restaurants come in and hadn't really been able to kind of keep a stable tenant since the Bristol was there many years ago. So we decided to open up our own. We've hired a chef and a food and beverage manager, and it's a casual experience. You order at the bar, you go to your seat, but it's kind of based around the show activity. It's really to support the patron experience. I think that it is absolutely something that we talk about when we expand is how do we create more food and beverage opportunities throughout the center, because you're right, there's only I think there's 100 and some odd seats, maybe not that, 70 seats or something like that in the restaurant. And then as far as we think that the permanent bars will help create a place, we'd like to also become more involved in catering. Okay, are there any other questions?